With the success of Ice Cube's Big Three League, many former NBA greats are appearing back on the basketball court. Many familiar faces may leave us forgetting or questioning how good they were in the NBA. One such player who led his team power to the first ever Big Three championship was Cuttino Mobley. If you remember Mobley, he was best known for his time with the Houston Rockets, but just how good was Cuttino Mobley in the NBA? Mobley was a left-handed 6'4" shooting guard who played for the Rhode Island Rams and was drafted in 1998 by the Houston Rockets in the second round with the 41st pick. Historically speaking, second-round picks are usually a draft and stash, while only two-thirds of second-round picks will see at least one game in the NBA. The Houston Rockets drafted 4 players that year, 3 in the first round. Mobley, with these odds, was fighting against players past their prime and had a slim chance, if any, of making the Rockets team. But what do shooters do best? They shoot. Mobley was an efficient shooting guard coming off the bench, playing a significant role during the 1999 lockout season of 50 games, playing 29 minutes a game. It would only take a handful of games before Mobley was included in the starting lineup for the remainder of the season, averaging 10 points and would receive an all-rookie second team that year. The following year, the Rockets would receive Steve Francis in a trade in which Francis requested after being drafted by the Vancouver Grizzlies. The two would be best friends and inseparable, playing like today's Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum of the Portland Trail Blazers. The next couple of years was a rebuilding process for the Rockets, out with the old and in with the new, while Mobley learned to adapt to the NBA game and show an increase in scoring every year that he played. In only his third year in the league, he would average almost 20 points in the 2001 season. The following season, he would do the same, averaging around 21 points a game. In 2002, the Rockets would draft Yao Ming from China, the 7'6" center that made an immediate presence on the court, even giving Shaq trouble. Things were starting to look promising for the Rockets, with Yao in the picture. The following season, Houston would improve their record significantly from the previous year, going from 28 wins to 43 wins, although they would fall short just one game from making the playoffs. With Yao now in the picture, his numbers would drop slightly, while Yao's would increase as he was the focal point in the office. In the 2003-04 season, the Rockets would make the postseason and place 7th in the Western Conference, but face the super team Lakers. They would get dismantled in 5 games. During the playoffs, his performance and numbers were relatively the same compared to the regular season. After the exit in the playoffs, the Rockets would make a surprising move dismantling the team just when things were starting to look up, trading the duo of Mobley, Francis, and Kevin Cato during the offseason to the Orlando Magic in a 7-player deal. Houston would receive prime Tracy McGrady, Tyronn Lue, and Reece Gaines. Mobley's career with the Rockets would end. Although he never made an All-Star game, he posted some career highs multiple times, but his numbers for Houston over the 6 years he was with them, he averaged 17 points a game. Not bad for a second-round draft pick. Mobley would play a mere 23 games in the 04-05 season for Orlando, averaging 16 points during that time. Orlando traded Cuttino for a defender in Doug Christie. He would average almost 18 points for the Sacramento Kings, considering the talent on that team, and playing significant minutes, winning 50 games in a tough Western Conference, placing 6th and facing off against the Seattle Supersonics only to lose in 5 games. This would show what type of player Cuttino Mobley was. He was able to keep up his scoring production on any team he played on, showing that not only is he productive but an efficient scorer and can adapt to a team's playing style. This would work to his advantage in the offseason, and he would sign a lucrative contract with the LA Clippers for 5 years and $42 million for the upcoming 2005-06 season. Cuttino would again be the starting shooting guard and help the team to his 6th seed in the Western Conference, averaging almost 15 points a game, 4 rebounds, and 3 assists, facing off against Carmelo Anthony and the 3rd seed Denver Nuggets, in which they were victorious. Although they would exit in the second round of the playoffs in a 7-game series against the 2nd seed Phoenix Suns. After 11-year tenure in the NBA, the 33-year-old Cuttino Mobley would call it quits in 2008 midway through the season after being traded to the New York Knicks and retired not by choice, but due to a heart condition called hypertrophic cardiomyopathy, a condition that makes the heart thick and more difficult than normal to pump blood. You could imagine how difficult it would be for the heart to work, in which it would be needed to play in the NBA. Mobley would be best known in his days with the Houston Rockets alongside with Steve Francis, where I feel if they had the proper coaching and given a couple more years with the supporting cast, they could have gone over the hump of the difficult Western Conference. Something about Mobley many might not realize is that he had a very efficient post-up game, especially playing with the Clippers. He was just so difficult to guard even at 6'4" in the post. Mobley's game and style would easily transcend in today's NBA. During his time with the Rockets, the team only averaged about 15 to 20 threes a game, as it wasn't a thing to just depend on the three ball back then. But given the okay, he could have easily adapted to this style of play and be effective, as he was already a good three-point shooter. Mobley would attempt to make an NBA return at 35 years old in 2010 to no avail. Not every player has to be a superstar to have a successful career in the NBA. Mobley would average exactly 16 points per game, 3.9 rebounds, and 2.7 assists for his career. Cuttino Mobley proved he could play on any team. That's the reason why he won a Big 3 championship already. I hope to see him again in the Big 3 this year and years to come.